Hello, good afternoon, everybody. We are winding down 2020. Can we get a hooray for that? Hooray! I, for one, am excited to put this year behind us. We have had so many challenges this year, but also so many showings of great community spirit that they say you show your true character when you face hard situations. And boy, St. John's has got quite a lot of character, I will say. So hopefully everybody had some nice holidays and enjoyed themselves. And now we're in that in-between time between Christmas and New Year's. A lot of time for reflection, looking ahead, that type of thing. And of course, I've been thinking about the business district and what that looks like and what's that going to look like in 2021. And largely, a lot of that is depending on you guys continuing to support the businesses. I know everybody is so grateful for all the support that they've received this year. I hear it time and time again. And especially leading up to the holidays, now is time to think about okay, how are we going to continue this momentum so that we can come out strong in 2021? And something I'd like everyone to think about is your service industries, such as your yoga studios, your gyms, which will segue nicely into our guest today. Also your self-care, like grooming, your barbers, your salons, your estheticians. Think about those kind of things. These are businesses that have really ridden the roller coaster up and down of open, not open. Can we provide services? Can we not? So just something to think about. There's also a lot of great online classes starting to happen in January too. Music classes, fitness classes, art classes. Look around and see what kind of classes people are offering just to keep the connection going, to learn something, yes, but most importantly is that connection that we keep strong as we go into this new year. I will say, going into the new year, at least we know what we're dealing with. When we first started in COVID, there were so many unknowns. When I think back to March, I think, oh my gosh, we didn't know if touching clothing was going to spread the virus. We didn't know anything. And it was just so hard to manage it. At least we know now, right? So we're better prepared, and your small businesses have done so many things to keep everyone safe. That we are ready. We're ready for 2021. So with that, I am so excited to be able to talk with Jay from West Coast Fitness today. I think probably if everyone indulged as much as I did over the holidays, you might be thinking of what your fitness plan might look like starting today, perhaps, certainly in the new year. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and let Jay into the room, and we're going to have a nice conversation. All right. So this will be really great, as I know they've been doing a lot of innovative stuff, and I can't wait to hear about it.
Hey.
Hi, Jay. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. It's good to see you.
Same here.
You're in a nice, bright background. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm in my home, which I've got a snoring dog next to me. I've got, the weather outside is a little bit, I didn't know if it was hailing or raining this morning. So, and outside is something we're definitely going to talk about today. So perfect day to talk about it, right? So I wanted to start off by saying I'm not only an interviewer here, I'm also a member. I am one of those members that have been a member for a long time, and I am fully here to admit that I haven't been in a while. I got very confused with the whole COVID safe exercising thing. So I'm very personally interested to talk to you today and find out, what does that look like? What does it look like right now? But first, I wanted to get started with, I don't actually know the history of West Coast Fitness, and I would love to hear from you, your background and how you started it.
Well, actually, it was my wife, Terry, that it was her idea.
Okay.
She spent time in the Navy and was really into weightlifting back then, followed all the bodybuilders. She kind of had she was the unofficial weight trainer for a lot of where she went because she was so into it, and her friends and coworkers wanted her to help train them. And then when she got out of the Navy, she came back, and her brother and her family they were starting Video Chest, Lebeck's Video Chest, and it turned into Videorama. And then there came a time where Terry's like, and she lived in North Portland, and
Okay.
there's nothing over here, in the early 90s. So we opened in 94.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, she just wanted to bring fitness to where she lived and try to fill a void that was there because there was nothing really. A couple community centers that, people weren't really using, and there was no, you couldn't go anywhere to lift weights in North Portland.
Wow.
So that was her reasoning for wanting to do this. And
Oh
then
my
I
gosh,
came
that's
along,
so...
yeah. I had, she and I met 2 years earlier than that. And I wasn't involved I was involved at the gym at the very beginning before we were married and before the gym opened, in the sales trailer in the parking lot that used to be here. But it was difficult for me to have my fiance as my boss, so I had to back away. And went off and
Yes.
kind of pursued my own little career for a few years, and then we got married and decided we could work well together, and have been doing that ever since.
Wow, that's great. I didn't realize that. And yes, that must have been so interesting to have so you've always been sort of a destination gym. For the reason that there wasn't anything in not just St. John's we're talking about North Portland, right?
Yeah, there were some old school gyms, Northeast and Southeast. LaPrinzi's gym has been around since, how God knows how long, the 50s probably, and a couple others. But really there wasn't any place for anyone to come over in this part of town.
Wow. And it must have been very different running that business in the early 90s to the aughts than today. Must be a real difference. So how has that been for you guys? Working, thank goodness you had you built this good working relationship as your family business. What was that like, in March when everything just went sideways?
I cried.
Yeah.
When I told the staff at the front counter, I said, listen, we have to close, and I don't know what the future is going to be like. So it was rough. And we're going on started our 5th month of being closed, so we're closed November 17th again. And it's, now it will be at least January 14th. So that'll be 5 months this year we've been closed.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's pretty rough.
That's really rough, because I remember when you guys were open for a little while, there was a little window there where you could be open, but I know it's been so many, like, open, not open, open, not open. And it's like, how do you run a business like that? What do you do about your staff? I mean, that must have been so heartbreaking, because I know, like many small businesses here, your staff is probably like family to you. Yeah.
So some hard. People, some staff weren't ready to come back. Some we couldn't bring back. We had to run kind of a tighter ship those months we were open, but at the same time spend almost just as much money as we were, because we brought in more of a full-time, had an extra person on doing cleaning throughout the day, to satisfy, disinfectant, protocols and stuff like that. So we were, and obviously traffic was way down, but we still had higher staff to make sure we were staying clean.
Of course. And how was the community during those times? Were they good participants? When you laid out the ground rules, this is how you have to be able to come into our space. Were they pretty compliant?
Oh yeah. I mean, in the very beginning, there's in any town, and you're going to have the people that are anti-maskers or anti-government. It's all but yeah, even those people came around and were like, hey, this is not a political thing for us. This is us wanting to keep our doors open for you guys. So please wear your mask.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. That it's good that people, for the most part, of course, it's not going to be perfect, but the most part they were understanding, compliant, and also wanted to continue to participate in some way. I mean, everything that I've read has said that one of the ways to keep healthy, both physically and emotionally, is to exercise.
Yeah, I mean, study after study is being released right now, and it has been, you know, more specifically though about COVID right now, about how exercise is so important.
Yeah. And for me, I work from home. I used to have an office, but I had to give that up. So now I'm doing everything from home. So I get up, I work, I cook, I take care of my animals, I do everything from home. And probably, for me, I've taken a few online classes, but boy, it would be nice to just get out of this space for a
Right.
second, and not have my one space be everything to me, especially if I'm going to be like sweating and motivating. Because what I find about doing, like, even if I do like a little bit of light weightlifting at home, it's so distracting that I tend to stop
Yeah.
and load the dishwasher.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I forgot to change the laundry. Oh yeah, it's just
Right.
really super distracting. So what I've been excited to follow you guys online because I was really interested to hearing about this outdoor gym that you've created. What an innovative idea, and I would love to hear more about that.
Well, actually, we started creating it maybe 4 years ago because we had the space across the street, and we put. So it's kind of started out as an obstacle course. And
Right, I remember that.
yeah, so big long sand area for plyometrics, and we had a deck built. Um, but then when the first uh, shutdown came, we're like, okay, so we were able to have some spending money through the PPP, but they were closed. So we're like,
Right,
how can we satisfy the PPP requirements when we're 100% closed? I
right.
can't just give money away. Um, so we decided to really revamp the outdoor area, and we added another deck area and moved some weight equipment that we had in storage because we upgraded a lot of our weight equipment last year and donated a bunch to the high school. We
Oh,
usually do that.
nice.
De La Salle's gotten a lot of our weight equipment over the years, and Roosevelt's gotten a bunch too. Um, so we decked that area, moved a bunch of free weight equipment outside, covered it um, in preparation for people coming back and just working out outside. And then and then at the same time, we also ordered a big carport to go over the deck. And it was supposed to be 4 to 8 weeks. It ended up being 10 weeks. So we
Oh,
finally got it delivered, beginning in December, I think. But it's a 20 by 30 carport that covers the deck. So
wow.
a lot of the area out there is covered. And then I just added another little cover area again yesterday for a little lifting platform.
Oh, how
So I
cool
mean,
is that? It's truly an outdoor room then.
yeah, so we've got some cardio equipment out there. So we've got elliptical, a couple of bikes, we've got weights, um, we've got bench pressing, and then we've got the obstacle course stuff, the rope climb, the tire flipping, the cargo net, you know, all sorts of stuff.
I hate I'm the last person to say this, but that kind of sounds fun.
It's supposed to be. We wanted it to be an outdoor gym or a playground for adults.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you can
that's
climb on things, you can jump over things, you can swing on things, but it's all geared towards, I mean, no, there's not many chances you get to climb a rope or walk on a balance beam as an adult. And
right.
so we kind of created that, and you can get fit, really fit doing that, run an obstacle course.
Wow, that's like, it's people try and find upsides about COVID, and it seems like you kind of created an upside. You've created this. I mean, not just beyond the pandemic. What a cool thing to have this outdoor space to work out
Yeah.
in, and especially in a city with challenging weather like Portland, to have covered all the bases there, so you can work out both safely and be protected at the same
Yep.
time. That's awesome. I love it. And I think, and so how's the reception been to that? Like, what is it
It's
like when
been
people
good.
come? Is it
Yeah, I
good?
mean, it's a big area. It's about 4,000 square feet.
Wow.
So, I mean, and according to rules, we can fit 50 people out there. Um, but we're probably getting maybe 40 a day coming through.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
And we're
pretty good.
selling,
And then
and you don't
spread
have
out,
to be a
right?
member. What's that?
Oh, sorry. Like spread out through the day. So that all
Yeah,
different times,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense.
So at most there may be about 6 or 7 people out there during the busy times.
Oh yeah, that feels very comfortable to me.
Right.
6 to 7 people in an outdoor space with some covering.
Right.
That
And we're
feels to me
still
very comfortable.
we're still asking people to wear masks when they're outside in there also.
Absolutely. And now that it's cold out a little bit, wearing a mask actually is kind of warming.
Yeah, it
I
does.
find so it's less of a problem than it was during the hot, sweltering hot months,
Right.
for sure. And not nowadays when you wear a mask, we've been wearing them for so long. It doesn't. Sometimes I don't forget that it's on, but I nearly forget. It feels very just normal to have a mask on now. So
Right.
I think we've gotten hopefully past that stage. So when someone comes back to the gym after having not been there for a long time, would I do like the same kind of check-in at the front desk, or how do you check in members? Like how does that work now?
Well, since the indoors closed but the outdoors
Right.
open, I mean we are staffed still.
Yeah.
I have a couple of people. We're trying to get people to restart their membership because we turned everybody's dues off.
Oh, wow.
A month or so ago. So we've had a lot of members, not nearly enough. Come on, say keep my dues going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and then if you want to use the outside, you just say, hey, I want to start using the outside. Turn my dues back on. We also are offering day passes for the outside for non-members, or even members that don't want to turn their dues on, just want to work out for the day.
Yep.
Or month-long passes also for anybody that just wants to work out for a month. And then if we open up the inside before that month is up, then obviously you'll have access to Inside Club also.
Well, that's so great that you're offering so many different ways to experience your space, because everybody, of course, all of your members are in different positions. Some are in tough financial positions. They can't afford a full membership, but they still want to work out, or
Right.
they're not sure like how it's going to feel, so they just want to try it. Or new people who aren't ready for a full membership also can try it and then decide if they want a full membership at some point too. So that's a very interesting pivot that I think is great for exactly where we are right now. And we're in that time period where we've just come off the holidays. I would say I was having Christmas dinner every day since March. I mean, I'm one of those people that just like ate all my feelings through the whole thing. And now I'm kind of like, I don't really want 2021 to look like that. I mean, I love all the good food making and all that stuff, but I also am feeling very stiff in my body, and I need to do something for stress relief. So that's when I do this every time this time of the year, turn to exercise and think like, how can I incorporate it in a way that feels good, but is also like kind of an enjoyable escape from the everyday stuff too. And do people come to you with that kind of goal in mind also?
Yeah, I mean, it's a design plan where New Year's resolutions just follows, a month of high fat foods and desserts.
Yeah.
Last week I was looking, I'm like, the only way all this dessert and candy is going to get out of the house is if I eat it. So I got to eat it, so it's gone, and I can't see it anymore.
That's exactly right. It's
not
all
going to
here.
throw it away.
That's right. I have definitely learned not to be a little bit less wasteful, and so that applies to every food group that there is out there. Well, I'm interested to know. I know you've had a huge following because I have a lot of friends that go there. How has it been for new people coming in? Have you seen some new people like trying it out who you haven't met before?
Yeah, I mean, in the past month, we've probably signed up 5 or 6 new members.
Great.
And maybe about the 5 or 6 people that have just bought a 1-month pass to the outside.
Because I do know that there are new people moving into St. John. So, and especially since, again, we don't have like a lot of areas. There are more probably than when you started areas to work out and to get your fitness in, but certainly we're not like overrun with them at all. So having the full facility like you do, you guys seem like you're the only ones who have all of that.
Yeah.
As well as, and I'm trying to remember, are you all still doing classes or no?
Not right now. I mean, we were.
Not right now. Yeah.
We had a really. It wasn't as full of a class schedule while we could reopen, but it was unique. We ran a lot of new half-hour classes, which people really seemed to like. Weren't able to bring spinning back yet.
Right.
Although the spinning room does have a garage door, so it can be tons of airflow in there.
Sure.
And we started up Tai Chi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So when we reopen again, you know, we'll probably, we'll definitely have classes. People definitely want the classes. Yoga,
Yeah,
especially.
at some point. Yeah.
Mobility was really popular after the last shutdown, because people, like you said, are just not as flexible, or, you know, they're just feeling stiff and they need some mobility before they start running on a treadmill.
That's right. The mobility thing is real. I mean, when you're not even leaving your house to get in your car to go to an office, you're just literally walking from the bedroom to the living room like I am. It's not very good for your mobility. And people like me who tend to like sit on the couch, and, you know, it's just not meant for a all day working position. You know, you need something. I feel like COVID has aged me 10 years. And so I want to try and reverse that a little bit, you know, going into 2021. I want to make sure that, I mean, health, it's so funny because health is on the top of my mind. However, my habits aren't, you know, it's not flowing together. I think about it, but I don't do the things.
It takes a long time to establish a habit.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what it is, right? It's a habit. And we know that we can develop habits, good and bad, just by having an intention in doing them, right? So, yeah. And then how, for you guys, I can only imagine the stress level that you've been under. What does your self-care look like? Like, how do you guys take care of each other and yourselves? It's a hard question.
We do a lot of hanging out at the house too. You know, we have 2 school-aged kids, so you know, they were online learning while we were home, and so it's been different. We're just looking for the future.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
You can't focus, and we did a lot of focusing on the negative aspects of things, and you can still do that, but you got to get that out of your mind, you know, or you'll just start wallowing in self-pity.
Yeah, it's hard not to, because it just feels like we've been slammed from every direction, and all businesses are experiencing something. There's nobody who hasn't been touched by this.
Right.
But I feel like, I was saying this before you came on, I feel like going into 2021, at least we know what we're dealing with. Like, hopefully there won't be a whole bunch of surprises. And so we know, like, okay, if there's a shutdown again, this is where we turn. This is what we do. You know, I've been following your social media. Your social media is really looking good. You know, it's very clear. I've seen all the videos that you've done, which I think are fantastic. And probably before COVID, you weren't thinking, oh, I need to make a video. You know, it's.
We made a bunch of videos. So I bought a bunch of camera equipment, lighting equipment during the first shutdown, because that was something else we did. Is we recorded some exercise videos that we have on our online website. Because we're like, okay, so that was part of the PPP money. Let's spend some PPP money in case this happens again. So we have an avenue for people that want to, you know, do some streaming classes. So I kind of I didn't do the filming. My son did, and some of his roommates, because they're theater major, or they were theater majors.
Oh, nice.
And then just a few months ago, I'm like, you know what? I need to get more comfortable in front of a camera myself. So I want to start maybe doing like a 5-minute YouTube channel kind of thing. I don't know. I'm still trying to get over that, filming myself and speaking into a camera. So
it's so, you know, it took me a while to start this Instagram live, even though I'm very comfortable in front of a camera, because it's just you, and it's live, and it's like, oh my God, so many things can go wrong. And, you know, I know from you guys, your business was never about your face being the front of the business, right? It was just about the business itself as an entity. And then suddenly it's like, oh, and hey, I'm the owner, and hey, here's me, and this is what I'm wearing today, and this is what I'm doing today. And that feels...
Yeah, that was actually Terry's idea. She wanted to, this time around, just start adding in a lot of personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
just to, just to say, hey, this is us, kind of.
Yep. I think the
That's Tom
businesses
Peterson.
that have been successful in keeping their followers engaged are the ones who put themselves out there. Because when you remember that it's not, again, just an entity, just an organization, it's a family business. That's what makes you go, yeah, these are my neighbors. This is my
Right.
family. Of course, we're gonna support each other. It just feels much more natural than something just big and unnamed, just in name only, and not something personal. And you know what? It's I love your videos. I think they're great. You seem very
Thanks.
comfortable. So I think, well, you would never might have known that had you not been sort of like forced into it a little bit. And now you have this talent that you can continue on no matter what the situation is too. And I think people like them. I think it just feels good to connect and see a person too. It's like, oh, there's Jay. Nice. Oh yeah, I need to head over there. Like I need to grab lunch. I need to head over there. We're like this little small town, and that feeling is really important to me, and it seems like our businesses all feel that way as well.
Yeah.
How has it been for like have you been able to talk to like your neighboring businesses in the little like node of St. John's that you're in?
Not really. I mean, I had
Yeah.
plants come out to the house a couple weeks ago. um, but and then besides over Christmas or the times I go down into St. John's to do things. I just haven't been able to do that, or there
No,
hasn't been the
it's hard. It's
opportunity.
like because we're not in normal times where you would just casually drop by. There's no
Right.
casual dropping by anything. It's always very like, directed, like I have to go here for this reason, so I'm going here and then I leave. No hanging out,
Yeah.
no browsing, and I think I think keeping that connection up is really hard. We try to do like with the boosters, have our meetings and stuff, but even with our general meetings, it's just hard for people to show up sometimes, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
Once they do show
That's
up, it's
me.
good. Yeah, no, but and the timing is hard. It's like, oh my gosh, you've got, so many hours in a day just to add one more thing. But I will say that I do find that once people come, they do feel connected, even if they have to like put their static picture on and go do something else and they're just listening. At least they feel like they've seen faces, and that community part of it is important. But you can only do so much in your day. So I just always hope, and it doesn't matter if people come or not come. I always just want like say come sometime. I just want to be able to see you and talk to you. That's also why I started this series too, is that I can't go out and do outreach the way that we used to do. Because again, like your business isn't open. I can't just go and hang out and talk to you. So I thought to myself, like, how can I do some outreach, but also share that outreach widely so that everyone's getting to have a little bit of that experience too.
That's a
And
great idea.
I don't know if we would have had this long of a conversation if it wasn't for this Instagram Live, right? Because it kind of gives us this little pocket of time where I can be like, hey, what's going on in your world today? So again, this is like, I would definitely continue this way beyond the pandemic because I love this connection, and I love that we have the tools like social media to bring it to an audience and let them get to know you too, which is so cool. I love it. So now, so do you and Terry share the day-to-day stuff, or are you more the public facing entity of the business? Like how have you divided that out?
Yeah, that's I'm more the public face, I guess, or the in charge of the day-to-day type stuff. She's has her eye on a bigger picture, and she's kind of in charge of the instructors and the class schedule, where I take the other employee side of things and bookkeeping and little things, and she's the one who's like, okay, let's do this year kind of thing. So she's got a bigger
She's
picture.
the vision. She has the vision.
Yeah.
That's great. It's good that your skill sets are different so that you can kind of divide and conquer, where one has a skill set and the other doesn't. You can flip that out. I always try to imagine working with my husband, and part of me is like, that'd be great. And then the other part of me is like, I don't know about that. It's like, who's the boss in this situation? I want to know the answer to that before I get into this. But I would imagine that, especially in difficult times, being able to lean on each other and know each other really well and trust each other has got to feel good. At least you're not just a sole proprietor. I know it's so hard on the sole proprietors, just them, right?
Yeah, you
And
don't have anyone there to say, buck up,
yeah,
when you need it, or
yep. And that's got to be so hard. Well, I'm so glad that we've been able to watch what you've been doing, that you've been able to pivot and do all this cool stuff. And since you guys are members of our community too, I always give people a chance to give a shout out just to any St. John's business that they are like, oh, I really want to give these guys a shout out. I love what they're doing. So do you have any of those in mind?
I like going into Salty Teacup. I really like that store.
Yes.
And over the years, I've spent God knows how much money at Blue Moon Camera.
Amazing place.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes, that's
So
a
those are
great
probably
one.
two of my favorite. And over the years, eating at Patty's Deli and all the other restaurants that have been down there over the years. It's unfortunately aren't there anymore. Yeah, and the two food cart pods. Farm Food is great. They've got
Yes.
really good breakfast type stuff, and their breakfast burritos are huge.
Ooh, that sounds good right now, even though it's not breakfast time. That sounds good, right? You are very well situated in the food area, I will say.
Yep.
If you want food cart food, you are right there, and you have lots of choices. And we have some new ones over in the Kruger lot, in the Beer Porches lot too. So that's got to be fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And then I did want to give you an opportunity, since we're here, to let people know any like specials you're running, or any, just remind them like even where you're located, your address, and like how they can participate.
We're right on the corner of Lombard and Buchanan, across from the Perch Tavern. We kind of have the two corners with our hot yoga studio and outdoor gym across the street. Like I said, you can, for $99 for a month, you can join the outdoor gym, or come in for $15 for a day pass. We are, still accepting new members. If they want to get in on a cheaper rate than that, they can sign up for one of our regular memberships. We're doing a $20.21 enrollment. And then right now, our normal monthly dues are $45 a month.
Okay.
So with the 20,
very reasonable. Yeah, that's such a great deal. You guys have managed to remain so competitive in your pricing, and I think that's one of the things that St. John's community really appreciates and has always appreciated. So that's great. So there's so many different ways to participate. I would encourage people to give it a try. If you're not sure, there's no harm in trying, and you guys are allowing people to do that day pass or whatever it is. Just give that a try, or a month. Try it for a month, see how that works. You might surprise yourself. Yeah. I might surprise myself.
And it's fun working out there on the outside.
Yeah, and I'm so very excited to see in person your new facility. I'm really excited to see that, and we will enjoy following you on Instagram, on Facebook. I saw that your website is set up to just goes right to the outdoor gym right in the very beginning. I can see all the hard work that you've been doing on the website. As a social media manager, I'm like, yay, this is exactly what you should be doing. It looks very positive and happy. And I wish you and Terry good health and a prosperous year ahead. Yeah. And I thank you for coming and talking to me for this little pocket of time. I appreciate it, Jay.
Yeah, thank you.
And hopefully I will see you at the gym.
In person, all right?
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.